Welcome, everyone. Today we are diving into the cornerstone of Microsoft 365 security, Microsoft Entra. As the modern perimeter has shifted from the corporate network to the user's identity, mastering Entra is absolutely non-negotiable for enterprise security. Let's get started. Let's begin by redefining our security perimeter. In the past, we relied on firewalls and VPNs to protect our corporate network. Today, your employees are working from coffee shops, home offices, and airports, accessing cloud apps on various devices. The network perimeter is dead. Identity is the new perimeter. This is exactly what the Microsoft Entra ecosystem is built to manage. It is a comprehensive suite of identity and access management solutions that secures your Microsoft 365 environment, Azure resources, and even non-Microsoft SaaS applications. Why is this critical? Because if an attacker compromises an identity, they bypass traditional network security completely. Throughout this training, we will unpack how administrators use Entra to enforce zero-trust principles, verifying every access request explicitly, regardless of where it originates. Remember, Entra isn't just a single tool. It is an integrated family of services designed to manage the entire lifecycle of digital identities. Look at this flowchart to visualize the Microsoft Entra suite. The modern security perimeter at the top flows directly into the Entra suite, which acts as the central command. From there, it branches into the core pillars we will discuss today: Microsoft Entra ID acting as the directory, conditional access as the rule engine, identity governance managing the user lifecycle, privileged identity management securing admin roles, and identity protection using machine learning to spot active threats. Together, these form a unified defense. At the very heart of the Microsoft Entra suite is Microsoft Entra ID, the system formerly known as Azure Active Directory. This is your central cloud directory. It holds your user accounts, groups, and device registrations. The most immediate benefit you will deploy here is single sign-on, or SSO. We all know that password fatigue is a massive security vulnerability. When users have to remember 15 different passwords for HR systems, ticketing portals, and Microsoft 365, they start reusing weak passwords. SSO solves this. By registering your enterprise applications in Entra ID, your users authenticate exactly once with a strong, centrally managed credential. Why is this so powerful for you as an admin? It brings every login event across your entire company under one roof. If an employee leaves the company, you disable their Entra ID account once, and their access to Microsoft 365, Salesforce, and custom internal apps is instantly revoked across the board. This diagram illustrates the elegance of single sign-on. On the left, the employee performs a single, secure authentication event against Microsoft Entra ID. Once verified, Entra ID generates secure SSO tokens. These tokens seamlessly flow into Microsoft 365 apps, third-party SaaS applications, and internal apps. The user doesn't see a second login screen. More importantly, the IT team has established a single, auditable choke point for all enterprise access. Identity alone isn't enough. We must evaluate the context of the login. This brings us to conditional access, which is arguably the most powerful security tool in Microsoft 365. Conditional access is the engine that enforces the zero-trust principle of verify explicitly. It uses simple if-then logic, but at a massive scale. For example, if an executive tries to access SharePoint, the system evaluates: are they on a known corporate laptop? Are they logging in from their usual city? If the answers are yes, access is granted. But what if that same executive's credentials are used from an unknown IP address on an unmanaged device? Conditional access intercepts the request. As an admin, you configure the then action. You can force the user to perform multi-factor authentication, MFA, limit their session to a read-only browser mode, or block the access attempt entirely. It is a dynamic, intelligent gatekeeper that adapts to risk in real time. Let's walk through the conditional access decision tree. Various signals enter the conditional access engine at the center. We have user and location signals coming from the top left, and device and app risk signals from the bottom left. The engine analyzes this telemetry in milliseconds. Based on your administrative policies, it routes the request. High-risk contexts are instantly blocked. Medium-risk contexts trigger an MFA prompt to prove identity. Only a fully trusted context is allowed seamless access. This is zero trust in action. To feed our conditional access engine with accurate risk data, we utilize Microsoft Entra ID protection. This tool is your automated security analyst. It uses advanced machine learning and heuristics to analyze sign-in telemetry in real time. It looks for two specific things: sign-in risk and user risk. Sign-in risk detects anomalies during the authentication itself, such as a login from an anonymous VPN or a scenario called impossible travel where an employee logs into Teams from London and 10 minutes later attempts to access Exchange from Tokyo. User risk is even more profound. Microsoft actively scans the dark web, and if they find your employee's username and password in a public data breach, they flag that user as high risk immediately. Why is this essential? Because you cannot manually monitor logs 24/7. By tying ID protection into your conditional access policies, you can automatically force that compromised user to prove their identity with MFA and mandate a secure password reset before they can access corporate data. Here we see the automated threat remediation pipeline. Global threat telemetry flows into Entra ID protection. The system categorizes the threat. An anomaly like impossible travel triggers a high sign-in risk alert, which automatically forces an MFA challenge. A more severe threat, like a dark web credential leak, triggers a high user risk alert. Because the password is known to be compromised, the system automatically forces a secure password reset. This ensures the threat is neutralized without requiring manual IT intervention. Now, let's turn our attention to the most targeted accounts in your organization, yours: the administrators. Historically, IT staff were granted permanent, global administrator, or exchange administrator rights. We call these standing privileges, and they are incredibly dangerous. If a permanently privileged account is compromised, the attacker has the keys to the kingdom indefinitely. To solve this, we deploy Privileged Identity Management, or PIM. PIM enforces just-in-time access. Under this model, you do not have administrative rights during your normal day-to-day work. When you need to make a system change, you go to the PIM portal and request to activate your role. You must provide a ticketing number or business justification, complete an MFA prompt, and specify how long you need the access, say, 2 hours. Once approved, you do your work. When the 2 hours are up, PIM automatically strips the permissions away. This drastically shrinks your organization's attack surface and creates a pristine audit trail. This sequence diagram walks you through the just-in-time elevation process. Step 1. The IT administrator requests the Exchange admin role for 2 hours via PIM. Step 2. PIM routes the request to a designated approver, like a security lead, along with the business justification. Step 3. The approver reviews and approves the request. Step 4. PIM interacts with the backend to elevate the privileges. Step 5. Temporary access is granted. The critical moment is noted at the bottom. When the 2-hour timer expires, the system automatically revokes the access, returning the admin to a standard user state. A secure identity at onboarding doesn't guarantee a secure identity 3 years later. People change departments, take on new projects, and eventually leave the company. This journey is called the join, move, leave lifecycle. Without proper oversight, employees suffer from privilege creep. They accumulate access rights from old roles that they no longer need, creating severe insider threat risks. Microsoft Entra ID governance solves this. Instead of manually adding users to dozens of different groups, you use entitlement management to create access packages. A user simply requests the marketing team package, and upon approval, they are instantly granted access to the specific apps, teams, and SharePoint sites required for that role. But the true powerhouse here is access reviews. As an IT admin, you shouldn't be deciding who needs access to a specific financial application. With access reviews, you can automate a quarterly workflow that forces department managers to review their staff's access. If a manager clicks deny, the system automatically strips the user's permissions. It delegates security decisions to the business leaders who actually own the data. This diagram tracks the identity lifecycle. We start with the join phase, where a user requests an access package to quickly gain productivity tools. As they enter the move phase, changing roles, the system triggers a quarterly access review. Here, the business manager must make a decision. If they approve, the user retains access. If they deny because the user no longer needs those tools in their new role, the access is immediately revoked. Finally, in the leave phase, Entra handles automated deprovisioning, instantly cutting off all enterprise access. With all these tools deployed, how do you know if your organization is actually secure? How do you prove it to your leadership team? You use Identity Secure Score. Identity Secure Score is a built-in analytics tool that acts as your security scoreboard. Microsoft continuously scans your Entra ID configuration and scores it against established global best practices. It gamifies security. If you are lacking foundational protections, your score will be low. But it doesn't just give you a number. It provides a prioritized, actionable checklist of improvement actions. For example, it might suggest, enable MFA for administrative roles and show that completing this action will increase your score by 10 points. Furthermore, for the deep dive, Secure Score allows you to benchmark your tenant against organizations of a similar size and industry. If your board of directors asks why you need budget for a new security initiative, you can pull up Secure Score, show them that you are lagging 20% behind your industry peers, and provide the exact roadmap to fix it. Let's look at how Secure Score drives improvement. Entra ID telemetry feeds the Secure Score engine. In this scenario, it outputs a current score of 45%. The engine immediately generates actionable recommendations. The admin tackles the top priorities, enabling MFA for admins yields 10 points and blocking legacy authentication yields 15 points. By executing these tasks, the organization achieves an improved security posture, culminating in a new score of 70%. It creates a clear, measurable path to security. Let's tie all these core features together with a critical, real-world use case. Imagine your organization is executing a major infrastructure migration over the weekend. A senior cloud engineer needs to alter production Azure virtual networks. Because you practice zero trust, step 1 is that their day-to-day Entra ID account only has read-only access. In step 2, the engineer navigates to privileged identity management and requests the network contributor role, logging the specific migration ticket number as justification. Step 3, before PIM grants this, your conditional access policy intercepts the request. Because this is a high-privilege action, it forces the engineer to complete an MFA prompt and verifies that they are using a compliant, Intune-managed corporate laptop. The result, the engineer receives the elevated permissions for a strict 4-hour window. They complete the migration successfully. Entra generates an immutable audit log of the entire event, and when the timer runs out, the privileges evaporate automatically. Productivity is maintained, but security is absolute. That is the power of Microsoft Entra. This final flowchart maps our real-world migration scenario from end to end. The cloud engineer starts with read-only access and initiates the process by requesting a role via PIM. This hits the conditional access evaluation checkpoint. If the engineer is on an unmanaged device, they are instantly blocked. But since they pass the device compliance and MFA checks, they move to the PIM approval workflow. They receive time-bound elevated access, allowing them to successfully update the network. Finally, the automated safeguard kicks in, time expires, and access is automatically revoked. Your environment remains secure.
To find related ebook and other material for this training course, go to quicktechie.com. Now you will see all the video courses are available here. So let's move to the ebooks. You can go here, ebooks, all AI related ebooks like you are watching currently Mythos related training. That ebook would be uploaded under this section. You can download this ebook. PDF would be available, all 300-page PDF. So you just click on the download this entire ebook. You can download from this section. So whatever training you are currently listening, corresponding ebook would be available. We have thousands of ebooks available. Now, other than that, we have on video courses which you are watching right now. This also all AI related courses are available. Similarly, for all company related trainings are available like Microsoft. You can find it here with their respective certification training modules. All exam simulators which would help you to get the certification preparation. Just refresh if you get this kind of error. Okay, so now you can see these are all certification preparation materials. Will also be click here to the NVIDIA certification preparation material. So you can see all NVIDIA certification preparation materials, and click on any of this and it would load the entire screen and you can launch the practice paper. So this is what you can see, that you can submit the answer. We have an audiobooks available. Okay, so for each section, and these are our alumni who can you can find out all alumni who are accessing our portal.